Hello everybody, my name is Kato, and welcome back to a record collection video. I have not done one of these in almost 9 months. It's been a while, but I got some stuff over the summer, and I've just been steadily working my way through it. And I've also just been very busy with other creative projects and school and things like that. So I haven't really had a chance to make this, but I'm just sitting at home now, so the semester's over. So let's just go ahead and get through these. Not too much, but a few things to show off. I got 3 records, so I'll start with those 3 vinyl situations. So the first one is this album, which is "The Devil Is Raging Inside Me." The Devil and God are raging inside me. Apologies. By Brand New. This is one of my favorite emo albums of all time. It's more of like an alternative indie rock kind of take on emo. Not so much like hardcore punk kind of stuff, but more just like, yeah, just very well written rock songs that are very passionate and emotional, as you might expect. And it's just an all time classic. Like, all the songs are just total anthems. And yeah, if you're an emo fan, there's no reason why you shouldn't like this. There's a gatefold for this guy, and yeah, I don't really know the story behind all of this, but it looks cool. And then it's a double LP, so each of the records have their own neat sleeves. Well, first of all, there's this lyric sheet. That's all like handwritten, just like scribbled. And then each of the sleeves have their own like artwork on it, like that. Yeah, this just says like a bunch of names, who it's for. Yeah, pretty cool. And just black vinyl, but you get the idea. These cool little things that show like the span of the tracks over each side. Yeah. And then the other one right here, this like dog and picture of them playing, I would assume, and some more just like liner notes and stuff. So yeah, amazing album, really good band overall. I wasn't a fan of their latest album, but this one and the one before it are both really good albums. So yeah, check it out if you like emotional rock music. I actually did like an electronic cover of the song Jesus Christ on this album, so if you want to listen to that, just check it out on my channel or on streaming. I'm actually on all streaming services now, so that's cool. But anyway, next album is this. This is "Set Yourself on Fire" by the band Stars. This is I think they're pretty underrated and pretty underknown, like indie pop band. And I don't listen to that much like indie pop or like indie bands in general, honestly. But these guys, especially with this album, just like all time favorite of mine. This thing is really amazing. All the songs are just so beautiful and nostalgic and just sweet. Like, some of them are just very cute, like kind of love songs, just very innocent, and then other ones are just super like heartbreaking and bittersweet and emotional, like that. So there's a range of moods, but it's all just like centered around love and relationships and just like, yeah, like the different aspects of that. And it's just amazing. Like the song "Your Ex Lover Is Dead" that kicks off the album is just one of my favorite songs ever, and so is "Ageless Beauty," and so is a bunch of the other ones on here. Like, they're all so good. It took me a while to come around on this album as a whole. I always loved that first track, but I certainly have now, and I love the entire thing. It's really an all-time favorite of mine, and I'd recommend it to everybody. Like, as long as you're not as long as you're not opposed to like some cutesy indie pop, it's really incredible. So there's just kind of simple text here with all the liner notes and a little like thingy, a little just bit of text, I guess, explaining the concept of the album or whatever. And yeah, that's all there really is to show here. But yeah, just a really great album that, again, I would recommend to pretty much everybody. And the last vinyl record that I will show here is this, which is "Misery Never Forgets" by Wrist Meat Razor. I got a beanie that's sitting back there from these guys too, because I thought it'd be kind of a a fun, edgy band name to have on a hat. But yeah, I just love this album. I think I put it on my like year-end list last year. One of my favorite albums of the year. It's basically just like a combination of like metalcore and screamo, sort of like a 2000s like emo like metalcore kind of revival, but also doing new things with it. Like it's not there are clean vocals, but they're not like super like poppy like soaring like auto-tune type vocals. It's more just like I don't know. It's just a bit raw and rougher and like more I don't know, just more like intense somehow. And yeah, just like kind of like mathy too, like very dissonant, like pitched harmonics and all that. I don't know. It's just really great. It's I feel like not as many people love this record as I do, but I don't know. I just keep coming back to it. It's very very addictive to me. Very very satisfying. This is a lyric sheet, and the vinyl color is really cool. Wow, love that. So yeah, it's pretty short too. It's only like 20 minutes. So I think if you're into metalcore, screamo, just any of that 2000s like post-hardcore, like emo type stuff, definitely check this thing out. All right, the next 5 albums I'm going to show you are all CDs or bundles of CDs that were released by the label Erstwhile. I think that's how you pronounce that. And they're all sort of in the realm of what's called Onkyo, which is like a Japanese genre, I guess, or just like electroacoustic improvisation. Basically, really experimental, really minimal, sparse, just very, very abstract, avant-garde, electronic type music. And this is probably the most popular album in that style. Still not popular by a long shot, but this has gained a lot of reputation online for being basically a bunch of high-pitched sine tones and a bunch of little crackly scratches, and that's about it. And that's not inaccurate. That kind of is what it is, and it's really hard to describe the appeal of this stuff, honestly. Even more so than just like noise music, like harsh noise. I think you can describe the appeal of that a lot easier than this, because this is just so meandering and abstract, and it just doesn't really resemble music at all in the traditional sense. So this is Good Morning, Good Night by Sachiko M, Toshimaru Nakamura, and Otomo Yoshihide. I can't pronounce these Japanese names. I'm sorry. I did my best. It's a collaboration between 3 people. Sachiko M's doing the sine waves, just very high pitched, needling, like ear piercing kind of tones. Not in the sense that it's like harsh, but it's just very high pitched, and a lot of people probably can't listen to that very easily. So there's that. Toshimaru Nakamura is, I'm forgetting who does what. I think he does the like no input mixer feedback, so it's just a lot of these little like electronic blips and pulses. And then Otomo does turntables, so he just uses a turntable as an instrument without. I don't know if he actually like puts records on it or if he just like manipulates the needle, but he just like puts weird things on turntables and makes a bunch of little scratchy kind of sounds with that. So it's just these 3 sounds coming together in various different ways throughout the album, and I don't know. I just think it's really cool. It's really otherworldly. It's very peaceful and like meditative in a way, I think, and yeah, it's just a very interesting experience that I find very, very satisfying, but I know a lot of people would not, and yeah, it's definitely not for everybody. And I haven't even listened to the CD version yet, just because it's kind of long. It's 2 CDs, and I don't know, I haven't really gotten around to doing it. But there's this little insert type thing. The cover basically folds out into this 4-panel situation, like one for each of the pieces on here, and then there's this little shape here with all the liner notes. And then on the actual CD itself, you can basically like pop this out, and so there's like a CD here, and there's a CD on the other side, like that. So that's pretty cool. But yeah, this has kind of been the introduction to the Onkyo genre for a lot of people. For whatever reason, it got a little bit infamous online, but I think it's a great introduction. It's really good, and it kind of showcases all the best aspects of this style. Another excellent Onkyo electroacoustic type of thing is this. This is Erst Live 005. Just the fifth edition of this erstwhile series. And this is by a lot of the same people. It's actually all the same people as are on Good Morning, Good Night, but in addition to Keith Rowe from the legendary free improv group AMM. So one more person added to the mix, and one more CD as well. This is 3 CDs, and this basically just like comes out, and you have these 3 in their own little packages. I'm not gonna take apart each one, but I'll just show you kind of what it looks like when you open these. So there's a CD like that. You can take out the little booklet, and it just shows like a picture of them playing, basically, like at their live thing. So they recorded for, I believe, like 4 hours or something, just a continuous improvisation, and then that's it. Like that's what you hear, and they just put it on the 3 CDs because that's how much, that's how much you need to put 4 hours of content on, pretty much. So yeah, there's little descriptions from each of the members, or most of the members, I think, on each of these little CD booklets that just kind of talk about their experience doing this 4-hour improvisation, and yeah, and then just how it turned out. And I think it turned out really amazing. It's really it's a lot more. There's a lot more going on than Good Morning, Good Night. So if that release was too like minimal for you, I would say go try this one, because there is a lot of detail, a lot of texture, a lot of really crisp, intricate, dense sounds just like swimming around your ears at all times. Not at all times. There are some minimal parts too where there's barely anything going on, but yeah, it's just super interesting. It continues to be super varied across its 4-hour runtime, which you wouldn't think would be the case. But yeah, it really keeps changing up. It's super interesting, and again, just super otherworldly, and just really sucks you into this alternate dimension of sound, the likes of which you've never heard before. So yeah, really excellent stuff here. Next, we have Dystonia Duos by Joe Pansner and Greg Stewart. So this is another electroacoustic, like improv. I think it's improvised type of thing. But this one is actually a lot more noisy, a lot more loud, a lot more harsh. So if you're into harsh noise and that sort of thing, you'll probably enjoy this more than the other 2 things I showed. It's still got that very crisp, intricate, kind of delicate electroacoustic like sensibility to it. It's not just like straight up blasting noise, but at the same time, it does get really harsh, and it does get really dense and chaotic. So if you were a fan of that sort of thing, then this would probably be the erstwhile release to start with, I would say. So there's the inside. Pretty straightforward packaging. I believe this is like scanner art, because I've made art like this with my scanner, where you just like rub your hand or something on it, and it makes these like weird warbly effects. But yeah, this is again just like really crazy sound design, and just atmospheric. Like it has these like very gradual crescendos where it just builds up intensity over time and just crushes you with overwhelming sound. But it's all very well produced and well assembled, and yeah, just like really intricate, satisfying sounds to listen to. So super great stuff here. And then the next one is called Detour by Toshiya Tsunoda and Manfred Werder. This is the layout of this one, and it folds out to make this kind of like arrow over the green patch, and then there's the inside like that, just showing various like nature scenes, and the disc there. And there's a couple quotes like, by recording various layers such as the directions of our eyes, our thoughts, our orientations towards the place. It's not even really a sentence, but how to render or to evidence mental constructions or processes that are rather non-transferable as a content but are nevertheless present. Yeah, kind of pretentious nonsense from this very artsy label and set of artists, but if you can figure out what to make of that, then all the power to you. But basically what this is this just one like 50-minute piece that is, for the first half, it's kind of just like a field recording. It's just a recording of nature and birds, and I don't know, like maybe a bit of like rain, water, and stuff like that. But it's just super well recorded. I don't know, like I don't know what else to say about it. I guess it is pretty standard, but again, it's just very, you really feel sucked into this other environment in a super immersive way. And then the second half of it turns into this weird, it almost sounds like a distant machine kind of humming and pulsing, and just making these weird like clickety kind of sounds. It's very strange, kind of unsettling, and yeah, it just creates this really weird drone that sounds like sort of electronic, but not like it's coming directly from a computer. It sounds like it's coming from a real environment. So it's just a strange blend of like you're not really sure if it's organic or electronic or what. It's just very like otherworldly and interesting. And then it ends with like these really loud cicadas that like make my ears ring because it's just like so loud after it finishes, after it just abruptly cuts out. So yeah, I mean, I guess if you're into more just like natural acoustic like field recording type stuff, and stuff where you can't really tell like what the sound source is, I would definitely check this out. I think it's super interesting and super just, yeah, like immersive. I know I keep using the same words over and over, but I don't know how else to describe it. Again, it's really hard to describe the appeal of this stuff because a lot of it is literally just like a field recording of like nature and like some weird machine. Like, I don't know how to describe like why I enjoy that so much, but I do. I think it's really cool. So again, if that sounds like something that you'd be into, definitely check this out. And the last one is this. This is Motubachi by Annette Krebs and Taku Unami. So this again like folds out like that. Yeah, this little llama or something there, alpaca, whatever it may be. There's the inside. Yeah, I like this. This is like it's like a hole in a wall where you can see outside, but it's just like dark around the rest of it. I think it's a cool image. Yeah, so this is, it's more like electroacoustic improvisation, I guess. There are some like guitar sounds, like acoustic guitar sounds, and some electronics, and whatever else, just like field recordings and other various sounds mixed in. A pretty wide variety of sounds, but this one I would say is the most like disturbing and ominous of all of them. Like it's very just yeah, it's very unsettling and very, yeah, kind of creepy at times. Very sparse. Like there's a lot of long stretches of silence or almost silence, and then the sound just comes back in unexpectedly in weird ways. Just super bizarre. Really like nothing I've ever heard, and it does an amazing job at creating just this very creepy, sparse, uncomfortable atmosphere. So if you're into like dark ambient music, I wouldn't say this is literally dark ambient, but it kind of serves the same function. So yeah, I would check this out, Motubachi. And so those are all the erstwhile CDs. If you're into really avant-garde stuff, then I would check those out. Otherwise, I'd probably stay clear because they are really out there, really pushing the boundaries of what music can be. But the last piece of music that I have to show today is this tape by Appropriate Savagery, called On the Lands of Mercy. And if you remember my year-end video from 2018, you'll know that this is on it, and I still really, really enjoy it. It's sort of dark ambient. There's a few like dark ambient pieces on there, like I was just mentioning dark ambience. This is like actual dark ambient music, just very menacing, like industrial kind of like drones and various like metal clanking kind of layered over top and other field recordings. Super well produced, super like intricate, and yeah, like just surrounds you. That's like the last few tracks on here, but then a couple other ones are like the track "Poisoned by Disgust and Boredom." I don't think there's like a track list on here. Maybe there is, but anyway, the tape is clear. The track "Poisoned by Disgust and Boredom" is the one that really really sold me on this. It's basically like this synth piece that just keeps recycling this very epic, intense synth melody, and it just gets more and more distorted and densely layered as it progresses, and it's so intense and beautiful, and like, yeah, just a really amazing experience to listen to. And then the track after that almost sounds like some early like prurient track or something. It's sort of like death industrial. It has these distorted vocals buried in the background and all this feedback and noise. So actually a lot of different things going on with this record, with this tape, but yeah, just all of it is really, really well executed. And if you're into kind of dark, experimental, electronic type music, you'll find a lot to like here, I think. So there's that. Okay, it does have the track list there. It's like both sides of it. Very nice paper material, I think. But yeah. This is a great artist. He's released a lot of stuff recently within the past few years. A bunch of albums, and they're all really good, but this is my personal favorite. So yeah, that was it for the music. I do have one more thing to show off. I know a lot of you probably, not a lot of you necessarily, but I know a lot of people watched the Death Squad video I did, the most extreme performance of all time or whatever, that kind of video essay on Michael 9 and Death Squad. And yeah, I just got really fascinated with him for a while, and I felt the need to make that and to talk about it. And I'm glad that a lot of you watched it, and there's a lot of really great feedback, and a lot of people really were interested in it. It created a great discussion, so I thought that was really cool. But anyway, as I was getting really into his stuff, I was looking into like all the stuff he'd made, and I came across this thing, Fuck TV. So this is basically something that he broadcasted on live TV, like in California, I believe, like a California local TV station during the 90s, like the late 90s. He just had his own TV show, essentially. That was like a weekly program where each week he'd air an episode for an hour of this show called Fuck TV. And it was just like super obscure, experimental, like video art with like a harsh noise soundtrack, essentially. And yeah, so this is a DVD collection that kind of catalogs all of that and has all of it available to watch. So you have these 3 DVDs here, and it comes with a booklet too. So it shows his face there, looking all evil and menacing. And you have the different episodes here, and the credits and stuff. And then I guess he just made these different posters to like advertise it. So those are kind of interesting to look at. Yeah, just showing the different episodes that he made. And yeah, so I don't know. It's very inaccessible. I'll say that. It's which is to be expected from someone like Michael 9, but I would say a lot of it's very disturbing. Each episode basically tackles like a different sort of political topic, whether that be like animal testing in laboratories, like rioting, like organized religion, like stuff like that. Just different like kind of current events and topics and like political things like that. And it basically just uses a lot of really realistic, intense footage that is also very like distorted and affected and messed with like VHS effects. So you can't even necessarily tell what's going on all the time, but it does use very explicit, extreme footage that can be pretty disturbing. But it's also gets very repetitive and very I don't want to say boring because I just said it was really disturbing, but yeah, it gets very just drawn out. Like there's a lot of like really long sequences that it's kind of hard to pay attention for a lot of it, for me at least. So I don't know. I wouldn't say I liked it too much for the most part. I thought some of it was effective, but a lot of it was just very like drawn out and kind of lazy, like in how it was put together. Like I feel like you could have put more ideas, more like interesting progression. Yeah, a lot of it just gets very hard to sit through, but still very cool. Just that he did this, I think is really cool that he actually aired all this stuff on live TV because it is pretty extreme and I'm sure it upset some people that were just browsing through channels, so I appreciate that. But yeah, really interesting little document here of that. And I continue to be really fascinated by Michael 9 and all of his pursuits. And if you haven't seen that video that I made on the most extreme performance of all time, you should go see that. I'm pretty proud of it. I think it came out really well. So anyway, that's it for this video. I have not been collecting records for a while or buying like physical music like that because I've just had other things to spend my money on that I feel like are more important right now. So I'm probably not going to be buying records for a while. This is probably going to be my last record collection video for a long time. But I will focus more on like my own music in the future and you know, hopefully keep doing live shows and posting videos of that once those can happen again. But anyway, thank you for watching, and yeah, I will see you in the future with whatever else I happen to be doing.